Hey people, we are sitting today in a quiet cafe in Berlin to talk with Helle from IGNEA. So welcome to Metal Addiction.
Thank you for having me.
But before talking about music, I would like to talk about how did you get here? Like before the war, a flight from Kyiv to Berlin took 2 hours, but now for you it was nearly 24 hours on train to get out of Ukraine. So when you are sitting on a train the full day just to reach a show or an interview like now, does that physical distance change your view about the past, or is that where the nostalgia from Monumental starts?
I would say that I'm not romanticizing it at all, and it took 3 different trains, nearly 24 hours. There are now also a lot of delays in the train, so you prepare like for a very tough journey. You never know like what happens on the road, and especially it's been like nearly 5 years like this, and it's not getting any better, not getting any easier. So that's why, to be honest, like we have to think whether we should actually take the journey each time. It's also more costly for us because before you could take just 1 plane, and now it's like 3 trains. Sometimes like you have to have a stopover and everything. So I would say like it doesn't bring any inspiration, and it has nothing to do like with the past and everything. But of course we are nostalgic about the good times. But I would say that it's more like on the darker side of the nostalgia at this point, because we don't really see the end to this, you know. So yeah, but I'm really glad that I can actually still come here, you know, and experience a little bit of the normal life, even though then it makes like an even bigger difference to what we have at home.
Yeah, I can imagine. Also for us, it's like a pleasure to have you here to talk to us now. It's like, I know how hard it is, but now we can speak a bit more about the new album Monumental. So this is heavily, from what we read, is heavily inspired by the brutalist architecture and concrete giants that promise like a bright future, but now they are in decaying. Mm-hmm. So we have also some of these kinds of things in Latin America. So we are gonna play a game here in the tablet. No. So we are gonna show you some buildings from Berlin and Latin America, and I'm gonna explain to you a bit of the context of the building, and then you can try to kind of relate it with the new album or the music. How do you see it?
Because I was afraid you would have me like guess what the building is.
No. So for example, here we have the Berlin's Bierpinsel.
Yes.
So it's look like a retro-futuristic spaceship frozen in concrete. So which track from the new album describes the souls of a building like this?
This is definitely Dreams of London Scene, the song that is already out with the music video, because it does have a little bit of space architecture built in, and this song is about exploring space, how it was in the past, mostly like during the Cold War era, and with all the mosaics with, you know, spacemen and rockets on the buildings. But also like if you take old sci-fi movies and all the retro-futuristic design that they have, Space Odyssey, let's say, or I don't know, Star Wars or whatever, I would say that this building is more into that aesthetic.
Cool. Now we are gonna travel to Mexico, like my friend here from Mexico. So this is the UNAM library in Mexico, with covered in massive mosaics. So you mentioned also that post-Soviet space mosaics depicted like a promised future that never arrived. Do you see like these same unrealized dreams when you look at this building?
Absolutely. And what is interesting is that if you take a look at the mosaics in Ukraine on the modernist buildings, there are a lot of elements that look the same, and it's not only in Ukraine, you can also see it here in Germany, in Poland, whatever. And I think it's so interesting that these buildings and mosaics, they're spread all across the world, and they have like this feeling of the future that never arrives. And I can only imagine what people felt when they looked, you know, at these things that were absolutely not understandable to everyone. I think that perhaps the song that is related to this one is maybe What Buildings Dream Of. It's very, I don't know, it's quite a slow song and very dreamy, and it's also a little bit related, you know, I like the book, What Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? This is the book which Blade Runner is based on. So everything is like kind of related, and that the buildings are basically memory boxes for everything that has happened.
Now we are going to travel to Argentina, Buenos Aires. So this is a National Library in Buenos Aires.
Yeah.
You see that it's a heavy brutalist concrete giant. So musically speaking, does this massive structure sounds more like fierce growls and punchy riffs, or like more soft and sad keyboard melody?
I mean, it's obvious, yeah. But I would say that the track for this one from the new album is Prefab. It's a song that features the vocalist of Combichrist, Adel, and it's actually more a song about socialist buildings with like a lot of apartments, small apartments, the same buildings that look the same and everything. But if you think about the music, like it has the chorus that says "Welcome to your monolith,"
Yeah.
and this is like kind of a monolith building, and it's very punchy, very like industrial sounding.
Now we're gonna travel to my country, Chile.
Yeah.
So here, this is the Humberstone, an industrial ghost town, like in the Chilean desert, left out to rust when technology changed. So how does the isolation of a place like this connect with the track between No Longer and Not Yet?
I would say that actually the track between No Longer and Not Yet is about diving into the past when you're listening to a vinyl record. But I think that the title suits this a lot because it's basically between No Longer and Not Yet. It's a non-place. There is also like this word non-place in this song. I think this is like kind of a liminal space where the life was happening, but it's not happening anymore. But when you come there, you just imagine all the people, you know, what they were doing, what lives they had.
Now you saw like some other places from Latin America, but before the pictures, if I told you Latin America, what comes to your mind first?
Oh, I don't know. I would say that I still haven't been there at all. I would love to. So the things I'm thinking about is like a lot of really nice people, because the people who I met outside, but they come from Latin America, they're always very friendly and open and everything. I think about the heat because I like the cold. So usually I'm like mentally preparing that I'm gonna slowly die there. But again, like preparing for this album and discovering all this, like exploring this theme, I know that there are a lot of great buildings out there. So I would really like to check them out.
Well, I have to say that if you go to the southern Chile or the southern part of Argentina, it's not warm at all.
Perfect. I will note it down.
It's
I will
not
note
warm
it down.
at all.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of structures and contrast, Dreams of Lands and Scenes also blend like brutal guitar riffs and the 90s theme. But one of the instruments that really caught me was the
Theremin.
theremin. So how did you come up with the idea of playing such a hard instrument that you need to control it without touching it?
Yeah, I think that is going to be like a big reveal and a confession that I don't really play theremin. Actually, like after we record this interview, we're going to post like a reel explaining that. But to reply to your question, theremin is a very obvious instrument when you think about retro sci-fi. It's used in so many soundtracks of the movies, like old space movies and everything. We had to use it, and we do have it you see it like in the video. But the problem is, like you said, it's a very hard and sensitive instrument that reacts to everything around, not only like to your hands, but to everything around. And we live in Ukraine where we have like the electronic warfare, so it doesn't really work properly. And we couldn't really record it. Also, like to play this exact solo, it's almost impossible. So note-wise, you can have it, but like the range is not enough. So in the end, we used an analog synthesizer to record it, to record the very sound. But in the video, of course, we use it. I think like it's fine as long as we are open about it. I mean, we're not trying to say, oh no, it's been a theremin, you know. And also, this video that we made, it is made like the old sci-fi movies were made. They were not made trying to show you like these blockbuster 3D graphics, like that looks as if it was real. You can clearly see it's not real like in the old movies because it's sometimes made out of puppets, sometimes made out of, I don't know, decorations and everything. So for me, in this particular video, theremin is a decoration. And also, I'm very surprised that we didn't get any comments from proper musicians who play theremin. That's like, it doesn't look as if you are actually playing it. So, yeah.
So then you see that. So maybe after the interview, you're gonna get some comments about the.
I'm fine. I mean, again, like we are open about this, and we're gonna post about it in just a few days. So.
Yeah, but we are talking about the big conceptual ideas and also the way that you wrote the album. But also, the reality of making this album was that you composed it and wrote it in the winter time, 2025 and 2026 in Kyiv. Meanwhile, you were also getting like power outrages. Sometimes everything was very uncertain. How do you manage to keep yourself creative and keep on doing that when sometimes you just get freezing yourself out of the blue?
Well, it's already the second album we're creating during the full-scale war, so I cannot say it's like something new to us, but to be honest, it doesn't make it any easier because then you know what to expect in winter. And this particular winter was extremely cold in Ukraine. It was like up to -20 every day, so you don't have central heating, you don't have running water, you don't have electricity and everything. And this was the time for us to record the main part of the album. I mean, it was composed, I would say, a bit earlier. We finished the composing part in autumn, but it was already, I mean, you still have air raids every day, you still have explosions, you don't sleep, whatever. So in winter it just was the worst time. The worst. And sometimes we had to go to the apartment, preheat it. I mean, not the apartment, the studio. We had to heat it up just to record the vocals. Again, it's very bad for the gear, for the musical gear, like these difference in temperatures. So we were really afraid that something would break down. Yeah, but I mean, we managed it. It was just really, really hard. And we were a bit late to provide the tracks for the mixing and mastering. They were made by Jakob Hansen in Denmark, but we had to bring everything together ourselves. So I don't know. It's just very tough, and there's no way to romanticize it. And we were really close to not making it. That's all I can say.
Well, now we just looked some pictures from Mexico, Argentina, Chile. IGNEA with the time has built a very passionate, loyal fan base. Why do you think that in a place like so many thousand kilometers far from your place, got so connected to the melancholy, the darkness, and the passion of your music?
I think that in the question you already marked what is the answer, like the melancholy, the darkness, and the nostalgia. I think that, like, if you take nostalgia, it's actually a feeling that is experienced by every human person on Earth. Absolutely, like it's a very human feeling to reflect on the past. And if you take like the darkness and the melancholy, I think that is also part of everything. And we usually speak about really not uneasy stuff, but our music translates a lot of stories, a lot of historical moments and everything. And I think that also we have a big mix of really different subgenres, from like folk metal to symphonic metal to like some electronic stuff. So that's why I feel that pretty much every person can find something in our music. They just have to come up with a proper song from our discography. But of course, I'm really surprised because we never played in Latin America. So I really hope that someday we will be able to. But again, right now, I cannot even imagine how long it will take for us to travel there, because first we had to go get to Europe or somewhere and then travel overseas. It's really complicated. But yeah, I'm really glad that people are listening to our music. So if you can spread the word further, we would be really happy about it. And I really hope that people will enjoy the new album as much as they enjoyed the previous ones.
So in the meantime, I guess people can buy your merchandising, your records, and trying to keep on supporting IGNEA until the time they manage to go to Latin America.
Yeah. And even if you cannot buy anything, you can just stream the music or go to YouTube and watch our videos. It also helps us a lot.
Since Monumental dropped in October by Napalm Records, I guess you also have to make a lot of effort to bring this track live. So you already planned the tour with Evergrey for this autumn, and hopefully, like you mentioned, soon one day to Latin America. But how can you plan something like that in the conditions that you are now?
Well, there is a very nice quote by a Ukrainian author. It's called like "I'm hopelessly hoping," basically, if you translate it word by word. And this is like our permanent state. What we do is we plan, but we are ready that it might not happen. Because this is actually, this is how we're living every day in Ukraine. You go to sleep, you don't know if you wake up. So, but at the same time, you have a day job, you have like your art, you have a life to live. So that's why you plan, but you are ready that the plans will be ruined. And also, like, we need to plan, because this is how the music industry works. All the tours are planned way ahead, all the releases. I mean, last year, even before we had the album ready, I already had the dates for the singles and for the album release. So.
Yeah, well, finger crossed that this can happen and you can come back to Berlin with Evergrey. So before wrapping up, I want to play another game with you. I'm gonna show you some picture of you, some of your peers in the metal industry, and I want you to describe them in 2 words. Don't overthink, just 2 words that come to your mind when you see them. So we're gonna start with Sharon and Adel from Within Temptation.
I would say Ukraine supporter at the moment, because she's like one of the few musicians in the metal industry who openly supports Ukraine. She's been to Ukraine, I guess last year or 2 years ago. So this time, Ukraine supporter.
So the next one is your colleague also from Ukraine. Here she is. Tatiana.
Yeah, well, it's complicated.
It's going. Yeah, you have the 2 words.
I would say, I leave it like this. It's complicated.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. You have the 2 words. Then the next one is your next album guest, Britta Görtz.
Role model. For me, she is. I mean, she's amazing. Like her vocals are just mind-blowing, and I really want to be here when I grow up.
So now we have Cristina Scabbia from Nacional.
Oh. Italian queen. Let's be so. I mean, she's also a huge inspiration, and I'm so glad that she's doing what she's doing, because she's actually over. I guess she's 50.
Yeah, plus 50.
Yeah, and it's so amazing that she has so much energy still and so much, art inside her, and I mean, she's very sunny. Like when I think of her, like she's bringing a lot of passion and energy.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
So now we have a Spanish-speaking person, Diva Satanica.
Yeah. I would say nice beast, because like she's always like, whenever we meet, she's so friendly and so nice and everything, but like she's so badass on stage. So nice beast.
So she's a Diva Satanica.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, I think these two words describe her perfectly. So.
And last but not least, Flo Jansen.
Oh. Symphonic star, I would say so. I mean, she's like the grandeur is like the word that you can apply to Floor. I mean, she's so out there, and she can do extreme things with her voice, but it's always very, I would say, there is like a description of voice which is round. Like her voice is very round sounding always, so it's like not like punchy, but very, as if it's hugging you.
Yeah. Yep. You also are growling most of the time. So how do you train your voice and you keep it healthy while you're not on tour or not recording?
It's a tough question for me, because actually we're not touring much, again, because of the conditions. And I mean, you can rehearse at home, but live performances are a different thing, and unless you're doing them, you cannot really rehearse properly. So a few things that I do, for example, I don't drink alcohol already for like more than a year. I completely cut it. Like before that, I didn't drink on tour, but now I completely cut it, and it made a huge difference for my voice, because like the vocal cords are not drying out. I have like a few herbal teas, like I call them vocal teas, that I do drink whenever I'm recording something, singing, when I'm on stage or in the studio. Like on tour, again, when it's possible, I try not to speak, but then again, like the past few tours, we had to sell merch on our own, because we didn't have like the ability to bring a merch person on tour. So then it's very hard load on the vocals every night. And by the way, like after Berlin, I'm going to Hanover to record the music video with Britta, and she's an extreme vocal coach, and I'm actually going to take a lesson from her, because I do growl, but I don't really scream. I mean, I can do high growls, but this is a different technique, and I would really love to learn how to scream. So hopefully Britta will teach me.
Yeah, actually we talked to Britta, and we told her to come to Berlin to give us workshops, like a growling workshop in English. So we are still waiting for the answer, Britta.
Yes.
We're still waiting for that workshop.
Yeah. I mean, she's amazing. So hopefully I can do it too.
So the real Soviet aerospace suits that you used in the last video were rented by Doshenko's studio, which was tragically destroyed in a military strike right after you finished filming it. So a piece of history that's just erased like overnight. So with the new album coming out in October by Napalm Records, what is the ultimate message that you want to leave after this situation and for people listening to the album?
I can actually relate it to one of the songs on the new album. It's called Presence of the Past. And there is, again, in the chorus, presence of the past, keep it while it lasts. Because we're surrounded by a lot of things that sometimes we take for granted. And with this war, especially, we learned that everything can be destroyed overnight. We see it every day, especially in the past few months. Kyiv have been struck pretty much every week, and a lot of historical things are being destroyed. So we have to cherish what we have and preserve what can be preserved. I think that it's harder to understand if you're not actually there, but we also didn't expect missiles flying over our heads in the 21st century. So I think that all Ukrainians are kind of skeptical at this point, and we try to warn people that may come to other people's homes anytime.
So thank you again for your time, for your interview. Like we said, it's a real pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. I'm glad
So
to.
thanks.